James Bailey's family has been farming sheep and beef on Momona for generations. After some overseas exposure to environmental initiatives, James returned to New Zealand and became involved in the start-up of an environmental charity, Sustainable Coastlines. He's also the dry stock representative on the Waikato Rivers Collaborative stakeholder group. This group is helping to shape council policy for water quality in the region.
Sheep and beef unit here, 470 hectares, predominantly running Coopworth ewes and a Hereford breeding herd, and supplying yearling bulls to the local dairy market. Much of our lamb goes to the Whole Foods market in the US through Tikawiti Meats. It's a family block, so I'm fifth generation here on this block. I took it over in a share farming arrangement with my father 7 years ago and have been managing it since. Before I came back to the farm, I sort of involved in a few environmental initiatives overseas, and that sort of came back to New Zealand. And so I had a bit of an environmental slant to start with, but it was when I really sort of started seeing the advantages to the business and how you can balance the two, is when I saw the need to push for not just an environmental thinking for the farm, but just an overall sort of sustainability aspect to what we're doing here. It's good T-rail ash soils. We do have some steeper gullies, and we have changed our stocking policy to reflect that until we get our steeper gullies and our land management units tidied up. I'm working with the Waikato Regional Council and the Healthy Rivers Waikato project, which is a policy plan change which is all coming to a head very quickly. We'll be recommending a plan change with regards to freshwater management, and I'm representing the sheep and beef sector on a collaborative stakeholder group. I'm one of 24 people sitting around the table trying to come up with a way to practically improve the freshwater in the Waikato and Waipa rivers and move forward together as a community. In some ways it can be seen as a bit of a scary business, restoring such a massive body of water or bodies of water, and the time frames reflect that. We're talking sort of 80 to 100 years and quite a lot of costs. But alongside that, we're not the only region. Every region's sort of moving towards this through the National Policy Statement for Freshwater Management. Here in the Waikato, we've got a river iwi settlement document called the Vision and Strategy, which pertains to swimmability and mahunga kai. So that's setting us up to achieve those goals in that time frame.
Beef and Lamb's come up with the Land and Environment Plan to help support farmers in the environment space. So what the plan involves is about taking a stock take of the farmer's land and water resources, so really having an overview of the farming operation. It's about farmers actually having a tool which guides them through the planning process. So what the toolkit involves is about looking at doing a SWOT analysis on the farms really. So looking at their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of the operation, and really hammering into those opportunities and minimising those threats on farm. I think a lot of farmers have a land and environment plan, but it's in their head. But what the Beef and Lamb plan is a great guideline and documentation which helps take farmers through it, and at the end of it they come out with a response plan with what they're actually going to do on farm, and they get to prioritise what things they want to look at. James has done a plan, and looking at his operation, he's doing a lot of riparian planting hills, stopping erosion. He knows not to have heavy stock on hill country, so he runs sheep on the sidelings through the winter period. So it just really helps guide the thinking process for farmers. So the feedback from them has been really positive.
This is one of the first riparian projects that we started doing. We planted 1,500 trees in here about 6 years ago. It was quite an expensive project for quite a small chunk of the farm, really, like a small chunk of the overall catchment. It looks lovely, and we're really proud of it. But the way that we've moved to in terms of addressing our environmental concerns is a bit more strategic. trying to get the bones of the farm right first, and then coming in with these aesthetic and, you know, environmentally functional mitigations once we've got the structure right. It's been the important bit. Well, the first thing for us was really hooking into the water reticulation system. There was a lot of paddocks that didn't have reticulated water, and by getting water there, we're just giving ourselves options, not just to keep stock out of the waterways, but better stock health, and down the track it's going to lead us to give more options around getting minerals out to those paddocks through a dosatron system or something like that, perhaps. Probably the key thing has been referring to the land use capability of the farm, so dividing that up into sections and then fencing pretty much according to that. That has been, and I've seen it, like the environmental improvement just from doing that without the riparian stuff. The riparian stuff is then going to enhance that, you know, massively. But making those steps to improve the management of the farm, the flow of the farm, you know, saving time, and then also gets you halfway down the track of starting to set up some of those mitigation, more intensified mitigation techniques. The work we've done with our farm environment plan, hey, sure, there's definitely a lot of feel-good stuff around it, you know, a lot of pride in the farm as you start to see things taking shape. But there's also, you know, some real value in the economic aspects of the farm. Firstly, I'd say primarily through management, easier stock flows, and if you set it up right, you'll be saving time and money. Also, better pasture management as you start working on the more productive areas of your farm. And hey, listen, down the track, you know, consumers around the world are looking for that environmental tick, and as the plan changes is pushing accreditation and some assurance around what you're doing on your farm. That's going to bode well for being able to put a marketing story together down the track.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.